What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for a player rating show. For another win, another big win. I think we scored like 18 goals in January in like 5-ish games, which is unheard of because we scored like 19 goals in the first part of the season and 23 this season. I think it's something like that. It's ridiculous, but it's actually what's happening now. And we won 3-0, and there were some performances we need to go into, some good ones and some disaster ones, or one disaster one, I might say. That's what we're going to do in this video. Before we get into it, like the video, subscribe. Let's get to 70 likes for player ratings. That should be light work for you guys. So let's push the like buttons, push them now, and let's get into what is going to be a very interesting one. Okay, we start off with the backline, and in my match reaction, I said something about that backline being like I've seen them play better and not concede a goal. I still stand with that. They had a very good game, by the way, but I gave Chesney 6.5. He didn't have much to do, but he had a couple of saves towards the end, and he made those, so 6.5. Other than that, like, there were not tough saves, but like there were good saves, need to be done saves. So I give him 6.5 because in the last couple of games, when he was called upon, he did well. He did well, and we conceded goals, but it's not that we conceded a lot of chances. It was just what was going our way earlier in them not scoring was now going against us. So I give him a 6.5. Gatti, actually the entire back line, 6.5. I'm not gonna bump Bremer up because he's like the goal is good. I'm happy for it, but like pure on defensive standpoint, I thought they had a very good game. In the first half, there were some situations where it was a bit confusing, and again, I cannot slate them for kicking the ball away and not playing out from the back because they're not good. Maybe Danilo is the best out of him, but even that, it's not that he's fantastic at it. So I cannot really slate them for not playing up from the back. They're just not those type of center backs. But defensively, they did their job. In the second half, they stepped up big time, and they shut up shop. You know, they never gave Lecce a sniff. Maybe at the end, you know, there was a shot Chesney saved, but other than that, they did their job. And even in previous games, it wasn't disaster backline or whatever you want to call it. It was just the how do you want to call it? Like the pixie dust was a bit gone. You know, you had that type of feeling. However, they've been doing very well now, and they scored 6.5. So they kept a clean sheet. So 6.5. Now the midfield is where it gets interesting. Cambiasso, and you might say this is too high, but I gave him a 7 because he is playing consistently good. Like, he doesn't put a foot wrong, Cambiasso. And at the start of the season, that first game against Udinese, I was like, great, but hold on. And then the following games, he wasn't good. He wasn't good. You know, he couldn't read the game pretty well. He lost his man. He was sloppy and all those things. And then he got benched. You know, he was sick, I think, or injured a little bit. And I was like, okay, give him his time. And I will praise him when I need to praise him. And now it's time to praise him because he's playing at a very high level consistently. He doesn't put a foot wrong defensively, on the ball. Maybe in the first half it wasn't easy for him, but that goes for any player in this squad, to be honest. But overall, he's playing so good. He's playing at a very high level, and you need to praise that. So 7. McKennie, if you ask me McKennie in the first half, actually a lot of players, I was like 5. He was terrible in that first half. He wasn't good at all. The second half, he improved. And he improved not really in possession, but he improved with being dangerous in and around the box. You know, he was more, how do you want to say, like, there was more of a presence because he was still making mistakes in and around the box with his passing. That was off a couple of times where he had, where he needed to pick out an easy pass to put a player on goal, or like in the box, and he messed those up. However, he was more dangerous, so I gave him a 6. It wasn't the best of games. Probably should have scored if Vlahovic didn't took it away. But he played better games. But still, it wasn't that poor. So 6. Locatelli, 6.5. My only criticism of Locatelli ever since he joined was consistency, and he found consistency now, and that was the only thing that really missing for me in that position. He shields that backline good. He does his dirty work extremely well. And again, like the difference now is he's consistent with it. It's not a one-off. It's not, oh my god, what a good game from Locatelli, and then the following game you're like, that was bad. He's finding consistency, and that was my only criticism of him. And he's doing that, and he's doing it at a very good level lately, which is good. Which is good for him, for us, because we need it, obviously. And he said so. He said that he would be improving in that area of the pitch, and he is improving in that area of the pitch. So credit to him as well. Then Miretti, 4. I like Miretti. I still like him. I'm not gonna go overboard and say, "Oh, sell him. He's not good enough," and all those things. Because remember a couple of weeks ago when we were linked with midfielders, and people said, "No, do not sign midfielders because we are playing well." We are playing well. Don't disrupt the balance of don't disrupt the balance of the squad. You know, Miretti's getting minutes. He's gonna take off. Miretti. That was the debate the last couple of weeks when we were winning games in the Coppa Italia. Before that, everybody was saying no, we need signings. And now, after today's game, all the reactions are he's not good enough and all those things. And that's what I've said so many times. You know, people do flip flop too often with this. When we entered the transfer market, and we were looking for a transfer, a signing in midfield, we needed a signing in midfield. If we had money, that's a different debate. But just assume we had money, there was no world where you could have said we don't need a signing. And it was based on 2 weeks. I kept saying it in the last 2 weeks in my videos. It was so reactionary to now say, no, we're good. Because this was exactly what I was talking about. Because now people are jumping again on Miretti. And I'm like, whatever. But he was poor. Like, again, his movement, excellent. But on the ball, he was awful. he was so poor. He made every single wrong decision you could have made. He made that in, I don't know, 57 minutes. He made them. I think you hope that he, is done with the mistakes, because he used them all in that small space of time, because he was dreadful. He was getting nudge of the ball. Like, he needs to bulk up. We know that, but like, he was out physical. He was making the wrong decisions, and which is weird because he was picking up the right areas on the pitch. He was finding the space again. He was very good at it. He was excellent at it, and somehow he messes that up with that. And I was like, man, really poor game. I still like him. I'm not gonna go overboard, but that was a dreadful game. So 4 for me. Kostic, 6. That's probably one of his better games. I'm not gonna lie. Vlahovic took away a McKennie goal, and he took away a Kostic assist. But like, overall, I've seen far worse games of Kostic. Tonight was not one of them. Tonight was a decent game from him. So 6. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't last year's Kostic, but I would still make the change in the starting 11. That this game is not going to change that, but it wasn't one of those disaster games. So 6 for me as well. Strikers, Vlahovic, 7.5. We've come a long way. No, I got slated in the comments when I defended Vlahovic, and maybe rightfully so. I don't know, but I never gave up on Vlahovic, because I believe in Vlahovic. I still believe him. I believed in him. I still believe in him. And right now, he's not letting me down. He is playing very well. I think he has 10 goals in the league. He has 6 goals in the last 5 games with 2 assists. He's scoring big-time goals. Frosinone, Salernitana, Sassuolo. Now, we'll probably not win that game without that. We're not going to win that game. So, that being said, 7.5, because again, good goals, and key moments, and he's doing what we are all expecting him to do. I'm not expecting him to score 2 goals every single week, but I'm expecting him to get goals basically every single week. You know, one, maybe if you go a game without one, then you go two, but also the big time games, goals in big time games, and he's doing that. So happy for him. 7.5. Let's hope he continues with it. Yildiz 6. Maybe not his flashiest of games. However, that first half was so difficult for us because we couldn't keep hold of the ball. We're just hoofing it up. They were pinning our wingbacks down, and we were struggling so much. And it wasn't easy for him to actually play between the lines. The last 20 minutes in the first half, he picked it up. And the second half, I thought he was good. You know, that first goal kicks off with him. Again, he's composed on the ball. He rarely makes the wrong decisions. I think he gave the ball away one time down the middle in the first time. That was a bit iffy, but I think he's a very good player. You know, and even in these games where it wasn't going our way in the first half, he doesn't look completely like he doesn't. You don't look at Yildiz and you're like, oh my god, now the moment is too big, or like everybody's struggling and he's just struggling with them as well, like big time, and you can see, oh my god. But I gave him a 6, so I thought he had a good game again, like a decent game. The subs, well, yeah, 6. It was better than the last outing, that's for sure. That last outing was poor, so I gave him a 6. I thought his link up and movement on the right hand side was what we were missing in that first half, and even in the second half, it brings a different dimension to the game because he overlaps and he does it consistently. So I gave him a 6. Junior, 6.5. That was a good assist. You know, that was a very good taken a free kick for Bremer. The funny part is he finally plays Junior and he plays him in midfield because he doesn't pull Kostic, and he got the assist from a set piece. But other than that, he was good. You know, he got in there. He wasn't afraid to actually make those challenges. So I gave him a 6. Milik, 6. I thought he was good. With the link up play. Again, he's playing well, better lately, which is good. And then Alexandro, 9 minutes, no rating because there was no time. But overall, a decent game. You know, we won 3-0, but like there weren't flashy performances, but there were also no poor performances beside Miretti. I think it was just overall we were very sloppy in the first half. We didn't have any drive. I think that was more of an issue than all like picking out individuals, in my opinion. But those are my ratings. Let me know in the comments what you make of it. Let's push the like buttons. Like the video now. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will be back later tonight with a breakdown live. Ciao.